How did Team Liquid lose to 100 Thieves and miss their chance at qualifying for Worlds? A roster that just last year was competing against SKT and bringing a lot of joy into the league as a competitor versus FlyQuest is now back to the fourth, fifth meme of Team Liquid. That is what I'm going to highlight in these 3 games that they had against 100 Thieves. And a lot of the focus is going to be placed on just timers that showcase how they're not really playing as a unit and as a team, as a squad. And their fight takes and just the way they see the game, it's like I said, it's just not as one. And it's causing a lot of random issues. And it's also just parts of not understanding where to go, what lane to play through. And when that happens, it just muddies things up a lot. So this is the first example, and it's actually on the bot crab. And it seems like such a simple one, but it's actually going to extend into a horrid situation of a minor advantage for 100 Thieves. So APA is doing a great job on mid. You know, he chunks out Orianna. He's doing an extra mid wave. They don't know that where the crab's going to spawn yet, because usually took it late. So it's a 2:30 spawn. He took it at, what was it? He took it at 4 minutes because he looked top for a dive, which was fine. So it spawns at 6:30 and you get the notification at 5:30. You're going to notice everyone starts pinging where it's going to spawn, and it's on Bot River. Okay, so they know it's going to spawn in Bot River. They're like pinging on the way. This is our fight. But since APA did an extra wave, this means that they don't this means Orion is going to move first, right? Ori's going to move first. These guys are now able to contest this wave because she's going to start moving down, and it's going to move this way. So you have a 4v3 on bot, or a 3v4 on bot. So you can't go through bot. Nothing will happen. You're just going to stare at them. Yuji goes through bot. If he wants to get this crab, he's supposed to go through mid. Why? Because even though they can push this wave and move up, unlikely that Ayla is just going to full shift. Because if he does, then FBI is just getting zoned, and that's never worth it just for the crab. So it becomes a 2v2 down here, and a 2v2 here, which is just a lot better state for them. He doesn't. Okay, so Yuji doesn't go down there, doesn't adapt towards the APA situation. APA starts trying to cheat the mid wave. Okay. He gets the wave in. They start like pressuring the bot situation. But what happens? Well, the Orianna gets the move again because the jungler's there. And they never took the bot wave fully because they don't want to shove it out instantly, or else the Lucian mana kind of evaporates. It wouldn't really be good for his lane state. So the Ori gets that power move again, which again ruins this here. Let me also bump up the quality. Okay, not great. Then the Ziggs is contesting mid like normal, but River's like, oh, but dude, you know what we can do? We could just gank him, right? And Yuji's going back to his camps. So they get 3 plays in a row, 2 waves into bot, and 1 wave on mid, an actionable play to get Ziggs flash. All the while, Teal did nothing. They literally got nothing out of that play. That was awful. Next, they don't match the bases on bot. They know that there's a high chance that they're basing, right? Like there's a pretty good chance they're basing because the Grubs timer's coming up, right? Ziggs also is doing an extra wave versus again matching, so they're gonna be late to Grubs. Not ideal. I mean, we're not really planning together how we want to fight for the next objective. We're just pushing extra waves, all 3 lanes, so they're gonna have full control of the Grubs. Okay. I guess if we prioritize the minions, the waves over the Grubs situation, sure, I guess. Next, they actually get a good pick because Yeon actually shifts. Like, Yeon not shifts, Yeon gives up the top wave to fight, and Ayla goes just a little too far. And if you notice in this situation, when Ori comes back, ideally, you know, because they're so ahead on the top side situation, Nico should be bot. Or not bot, he should be mid, sorry. Nico should just be through mid. They have tempo on support, they have tempo on mid, and they should, in theory, be able to push them out. Like, Xin Zhao should not do his Krugs, for instance. Like, he should do his red and come through mid now. and there's nothing TL can do. It's just like there's nothing you can do if they play it that way. They don't. So there's actually an opportunity chance in which they get this pick, which is great. As you're thinking, okay, great. You know, we got the pick. You know, obviously in this situation, this guy's super dead. Like, pretty much dead. Yuji doesn't really need a W forward. He does. Okay, now he doesn't have W. But we get to this part where, like, River is just sitting here, and I'm kind of curious why Court JJ doesn't just headbutt him out. Like, just pull the trigger, hit him out, take the grubs, and be done with it. He doesn't. We combo. He presses R. Yuji goes in, which he can never do because he doesn't have W. So he's just eating shit. He gets low. That's bad. This guy actually is able to smite, take away the second grubs, and get out. And that's crazy. That should never happen. So that play happens. You look at how their HP is. Okay, Yuji still has his ulti. You know, yeah, the dragon is up. Like, sure, like we saw Xin running the bot. They could be contesting the drag. They want to trade out top. That's good. You know, we have a team play set, right? So we advanced this a little bit further. And you're going to notice that, one, why the hell is APA in the river when we're doing a trading map play on top? We're supposed to play as a unit with the same play in mind, and so if we're giving up drag by doing this top play, which is good, by the way, it's a good top play to make, why is Ziggs leaning into bot river? What is he doing? So he kind of just has to just burn his conditions randomly, which is obviously, again, it's bad because he could just be sitting on the map collecting CS and being fine. Then we get into the execution of this play, and it's like, okay, no flash on Jhin. She has ulti and flash. The Alistar has ulti, so the Alistar's going to tank. I don't know why. Okay, he doesn't even headbutt. That's good. Okay, so he tanks it. He presses R. Yuji should never E because Yuji actually E's in, gets canceled. He gets canceled, and then he has to flash to even catch up to this guy. Okay, so now we're just losing Wukong's flash for free. That sucks. And not only that, we kill him, and we only kill him. It should be a double kill every single time. Or you should be burning Rumble TP up here, so at least you get that advantage. They don't get any of that. So that sucks. Then you advance it a little bit further to 1040. And in this situation, it's like, one, Jhin has no flash. The Nico's showing mid. Why is the Galio flash? Like, to me, this is actually a little weird because this one doesn't involve a lack of team synergy or being like playing as a squad. This one is just kind of like TL's just giving away advantages of theirs freely. Like the Wukong lost flash for no reason. The Galio loses flash for no reason. He could just E in. That would have been more than enough. Like, this guy's already screwed in this situation. But yeah. Okay, we lose the Galio flash. Now, naturally, you're thinking, okay, we got to recover top, right? Well, we have everyone set up at this point. So what we should see is they should zone whoever is in bot lane. Because if Rumble's showing top, which he is, he shows right now, this means that Rumble would have to TP bot. Orianna, someone has to cover bot wave. Someone must cover bot wave, and it's probably the Orianna. It could be, or it could be the Xin Zhao, but whoever it is, we should dive him. Like, Wukong wants a path up for his camps, but in every sense here, it makes so much more sense to just say, screw the camps. If Xin Zhao wants them, be my guest. We're going to permazone whoever is down here, and they're screwed. And they should take that idea and place it in there, but they don't. They don't recognize it. Like, these two are kind of moving for it, but Yuji's not. To me, I feel like that's just a bad, you know, difference of, like, reading the game, reading the map, reading your advantage. So now you're kind of semi-wasting some time leaning into bot. Okay, whatever. Now at this point, it's like, if Orianna shows down here, Lucian needs to do one wave, right? Does one wave because, like, if he doesn't, he's dropping the wave and Ziggs gets that wave. So Ziggs gets 2 waves, Lucian gets 0. So this is correct. This is correct. We advanced the game a little bit. And so it makes sense they go through bot. If you look at the map, especially here, Ziggs is walking. There, we'll start from here. Lucian has to walk mid, so he already dropped this wave. Okay, you drop this wave. Now we need to play on the next wave. So where do you want to play? They can play either in mid or bot. Now, the Lucian is actually getting a lot of control, so in many cases, they could move through mid, especially because they have the pink set up, and it would be fine. But in this instance, okay, we're going to move through bot. It's not the end of the world to move through bot. You meet some resistance. Okay, so be it. This guy gets a really big chunk there. Great. And so you're thinking, we can just make the play on bot. But, you know, there's a Rumble TP. Galio does not have TP. So you have to factor that in. And so I think getting this control, making them a little afraid, and then swinging up just looks way better. Just looks a lot better. Now, there's also a chance that they can actually make this play work when it does happen, because technically it's a 4v4. Like here, they're trying to pinch Quid. Yuji can W forward, ER, and this guy might die. But it's a huge investment, and the TP flank comes from behind and grabs 2. They get 2 kills, then this extends, they get another kill. Now we're in the shitter. And that's just in the first game. Like, there's already been just a couple of these mistakes that just pile up. And TL's just like, when the TL tries to force a play, it's too forced. And it gets weirder because as you progress the early game, we get into this situation where, you know, poor JJ, he's going through bot. If we look at the map from here, the Ziggs, where's the Ziggs? The Ziggs is going to be first on bot, so that's the wave that's going to be played on first, right? So it makes sense that the Alistar is going through there. Now, what doesn't make sense is that if you look at the tempo, because I should also explain this. If you look at the tempo, they knew that Nico was super late on her base. Alistar's already alive. So in many cases, and you have the top grab up here, which is what you want to play for. So in many cases, you should be able to just roll out and move up here, and it's a fine play, right? Like, that's a very obvious movement. What we end up seeing is, let it play out. Alistar is staying bot. He's staying bot. He's staying bot still, and he's zoning the Ori. But it doesn't make sense because your jungler is playing topside in the river who wants to play for the crab. And so in all cases, you're playing a Lucian lane. You should be moving through mid perma, and he is doing well in it. And my support should be here. Like, I don't know how this guy is just taking this in a 1v1 when my Alistar could just be here. Just be there already. And if you let it like play out, what makes this even funnier is because Alistar's not on top side. You know, the Rumble's going to be able to just kind of do what he wants without having flash, which is also funny. Like maybe you could do a Wukong Alistar sneak play in top side to affect the Rumble. Nope. Okay, so the Rumble's chilling. Now we get into this situation where Galio has TP advantage on bot side. So now we have an actual advantage, like spawning. And if that's what you're looking for, okay, cool. Dragon's coming up, you know, in all purposes, when they're like, once the Wukong kind of like gives this crab up, it's still fine. They can still fight for the dragon. The Alistar just needs to base sooner so that he gets vision, right? Core JJ is not thinking about, like, they're not even remotely thinking if they can fight for the dragon, which they can. 100% they can. And they just trade into topside for some odd reason, which I don't really get at all. So they get the Herald. Okay, so they got the Herald, right? And at this point, you just play it slow. Okay, the dragon's gone. You have a Herald timer, but like my Wukong wants to clear camps. There's not much to do in the bot river. There's no point on heralding bot. If you want to get vision to secure the area, I think that's cool. And if you want to bring the Galio down on his own to force a play that way, that's also fine. What I don't like is when like the team has this plan to just try to strangle bot jungle and then strangle the bot turret, and the Wukong just stops farming for just a long time. And not only that, during that whole time, Impact is still looking for these waves versus shifting over, which is what he should do. If you're doing this play, why is this guy still going top? He should already be shifting mid and you're playing a 1-4 style into bot turret. You're just doing that. It's a very simple plan, by the way. It's a very obvious plan, but they don't do that. Instead, he's pushing another wave while we're contesting the bot jungle. And so now it's like, well, if we're going to play this way, it'd make more sense for Wukong to keep clearing up. And then Wukong could then cover the Galio, and we're just playing it slow. If we want to play it fast, then the Galio should shift, but he didn't. Okay, that's pretty weird. Then you extend this into 1840, which is another situation where, again, and I'm going to see APA making this mistake quite a few times, is that he overshifts into mid when it's very clear that he can just feint and then go for another wave top or another wave in the side, and his team can cover him. But he doesn't. And the Jhin also catches this over TL. So, like, you're sending 4 people mid. They have 4 people here. And this Jhin is able to take the wave in Lucian's face. Hell no. That makes no sense. I don't know what any of these guys are doing. They need to just run up and show themselves and actually make this guy afraid so he catches it here, and then you get more control. More control. They don't do that. That's pretty awful. We go to 1910. The Galio should base and go top. Like, look what the Ziggs does. Ziggs clears this wave. The Dragon's coming up in 1 minute. We have more than enough time to fix the lanes. More than enough. He doesn't. Okay, so we're going to strong arm mid bot. Okay, so now we're sacking top side. We're sacking top side. We're gonna drop a wave. Now we're 5-man. You don't go bot. The thing is, they spent time to take this mid turret. They're down tempo on the sides. So now you should 5-man mid to recover. That is how they should see the map. That's how they should play as a unit. But what are we doing? UG literally walks back and forth in this area for a second. Galio's going bot, and we have 3 people here. It's like, again, it's like we're just not on the same page. Team Luca is just not on the same page with each other. And Korjache goes in. And by the way, River is inting. This is an int play by River, because if you look where his teammates are, they know that these guys are bot lane. They know the Rumble's mid lane. They're inting. And yet, they can't punish them because Yuji's not here, and Galio's not here. And Galio's actually, he might actually be too far, even, to ulti. So, what are we doing? We should have just had 5 people here to fight. Instead, now TL loses the fight, which is, like, not easy to play out. And that's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous to lose that situation that way when it's so obvious. Then you progress a little bit further to 25, 20. And look at this. This is going to be the exact same situation. Yuji's coming off base. The Galio pushed out bot. We can 5-man through this jungle area now. They know Orianna is a little low on mana. Probably is going to base. The Jhin showing mid. They don't know where the rest of the guys are, but they should be able, regardless, to just walk in as 5. If they did on this timer, this means they could push into here, get vision, and the drag setup just looks way better now. But they can't, because Yuji's on his camps, and Galio does not shift over. They don't get any access to this. Okay, that's not ideal. And it gets even funnier, because now we didn't get that vision. Okay, we didn't get that vision. Since we didn't get that vision, Galio sitting bot is a 0 play, because they don't know if anyone is leaning or in the area to counter them, and they don't want to risk it. Okay, they don't want to risk it. Also, Rumble technically never needs to walk through that way, so it could just be a dead play and then they take mid wave over you. So, based on that, we should be catching mid, right? Yuji's now hovering towards the Galio situation. Again, not a play you can really make with the vision they have. Now we need to bolster mid. Galio's still looking bot. The Ziggs is actually getting played on by Xin Zhao solo, and Wukong is too far to even help. Lucian is too far to help. So right now it's literally a 2v3. And they have the other 2 members here. What the hell? Okay, what on earth? So APA is screwed. Then the Alistar headbutts the Xin Zhao towards his teammates. right? Which in this case, Yuji should insta-R, which he does. And then yet, somehow River's able to get back onto this guy, kill him, and now the fight's lost. And now the game's lost. And that was game 1. Literally, there were so many situations just looking back at this, like watching it in detail, that you can see on how, yes, TL just doesn't know what the hell they're doing in terms of helping each other. Like, they don't know their own timers. Some people do, like CoreJJ is trying to take his own timers ahead of time, but like other people are just not seeing it. Impact's not seeing it. Yuji's not seeing it. APA kind of sees it. And Yeon is probably playing like the most, like, this is like my, like what I need to do in this game. And you guys are just not using me correctly. And so Yeon is just kind of left out to dry. You go into the second game. And so they have another draft that's like, they end up, like, one, I'll say I don't care for Blitzcrank. They should have just picked Rel. I think picking Sion over some stronger tops is a little interesting, but they did get Viego. Like, 100 Thieves didn't ban Viego, so like they do have a good comp in the end of the day. But the first thing is, we need some balls. We need some balls. So Yuji clears the bot, right? The Trundle 4 camp ganked top for the flash on impact. But if you look at what's happening in the game, APA is TPing back mid already, so he most likely will have conditions and push for the crab. Viego's always going to be level 4 over Trundle's level 3. This will always be the case for Viego. So why does he not walk up and contest the top grab? I don't know. Like, that is his top grab, by the way. So that's like a personal issue, like a personal error. One, another thing that's happening in this game also is APA is getting wrecked by Quid. Like, he literally started losing the game level 1. So that doesn't help. His mid laner's not doing the best, but also Yuji misses a chance to actually punish and double crab the Trundle, which is a lost opportunity. We advance. Everything's like fine. You know, this is going a little bit better than last time where we didn't have like a super major issue. This swap was a little annoying, but like it wasn't like game changing, because at the end of the day, the way that he pathed and things panned out, they got the drag. So that was good. At this point, you know, this guy tries to freeze the wave. Yes, Yeon should help finish this wave crash and back away. And they both should take a reset. That should happen. So CoreJJ has to waste some time. They end up getting his R. Now, CoreJJ at this point should base. He should base. Like, base and go top, go mid, whatever. And, like, you're good. All right, so he's a little slow. Okay, he's a little slow. APA now has to cover this. He has TP. So what should happen? He should use his TP right away. Like, he should be TPing on mid and doing something. He doesn't. Okay, so he saves his TP. I don't really know what the purpose of saving TP is. But sure, he saved TP. And now we get into the next scenario that's a little awkward with the grubs. Where do we go? Do we go through top or do we go through mid? That is the question they're asking themselves. They need to choose one. Like, regardless of whatever happens, and Yuji is fine what he's doing because Yuji's taking some camps while waiting for grubs to spawn, so he's not wasting a ton of time, right? You know, if he wants to move after blue, that's probably like the best to like confirm you got one lane to move through. But if he does the other, then like you're probably moving through top. One, why does CoreJJ go through the crab back and forth to fully show what he's doing? And like, because he saw the pink placed here, so he's coming back here to get the pink. But at the same time, you notice Ayla is TPing here on mid. They don't see it yet. And I also know that Trundle can be top. So at this point, looking at the game, and keep in mind also, if you look through bot, like Sion has a move. So technically the Sion could full shift, but like he's like, oh, he's getting like the fruit. He would also give up the bot wave, and it's a little too early. So the Sion part doesn't matter so much in terms of just what does Yuji need to do and what does CoreJJ need to do. And Yuji needs to move after the Gromp. No matter what, he can't do wolves. Because what you're going to notice is there's a 2v2 on mid, and the Trundle goes mid, which is a 3v2 in a little bit, and they're scared of that because their jungler's not there. And these guys aren't really playing scared on the fact that Yuji could be there. You know, that's like what's pretty messed up is that like 100 Thieves are not even like playing scared that if like Yuji's here because they have some mobility. These other guys don't. Core JJ and APA don't. So that's like maybe the major difference between why that can happen. But he goes for a hook, can't get it, right? And if you look at what's happening top, the Corki is building a wave. Now these guys get inside track to go up. Now Yeon is separated from the squad, and now they're playing basically a 3v4. We went from, because they didn't play for either lane. They didn't play for top, and they didn't play for mid. They didn't use their jungler at all. So now you're trying to contest Grubs. These guys naturally start a fight. APA, by the way, could just literally flash this, and it's like, okay. It's like not the end of the world, it's just okay. Doesn't flash it, eats shit, almost dies, and they 1-for-1'd. And you know what? The 1-for-1 is like, okay. It's just okay. It's not the end of the world, all right? It's not the end of the world. But that play in itself, letting the enemy get both top and mid wave to start Grubs and have an initiation that could lead towards you having people die with no return, that's awful. Okay, that's awful. Then we go next, which is basically at 1100, or 1100, basically minute 11. So you advance through right here. And so the question I have to ask is, why is Core JJ top? They know that this, like, all this stuff offset, like, you know, the plays that were happening, like, they moved up. They know that they're, like, they have good vision. This guy's literally basing the recon, so there's nothing happening top. Nothing bad's gonna happen top. You kind of want to, like, advance the plays into bot for the dragon, but Blitz doesn't do that. So now Blitz is even tempo versus recon versus being ahead, and they have better set. Now 100 Thieves get set up over you for drag. The Scion and the Cassante are both like semi-griefing each other, but technically the Cassante is more useful at his current resources compared to Scion, so it's actually advantageous for Stokla to cancel. But you know that, okay, we're going to miss this mid-wave. Now we need to play on something else. We're looking through bot on the Scion, which makes no sense. We should definitely be playing on mid. Again, play through the lane that matters the most, which is Yeon. Play through Yeon. So we don't play through Yeon. They cut you off. Okay, that kind of sucks. Then they start the drag. Okay, cool. Now we're getting some control. The Trundle starting, though. And this is going to be the most interesting thing to me. And this is where you're going to see one of the first major fight issues. Is you pink this. You ward this, so you see all of this here, there's nobody home. These guys are either sitting here or they're walking around. These guys are here. You know that these guys are going to be late walking around. Why the hell are you not going in? Like, why are they not just like jumping on them instantly? Because they know these guys, look, he quite clearly saw these guys showing here. Like, you see a recon queue coming out. So they know that these guys are here. They know they're not behind them. And yet they're so slow to just walk in and just initiate on river. They're so slow. And also, river has no flash, by the way. This guy literally has no flash, and he's taking the dragon 2v4 in front of your face. And he gets it. Now, don't get me wrong. 100 Thieves are idiots because they actually initiate a fight anyways, which doesn't make any sense for them because, like, getting the dragon's already a huge steal. So, TL benefits from it. But the idea that they lost the drag, TL, like, is losing their second drag because they just don't recognize that the enemy's screwed. They're disconnected. Like, nobody recognized that. And that's something I feel like Umpty would know. I feel like Umpty would be getting on their asses about that situation, and yet, again, like I said, just not there. They have Yuji. And so I guess APA, Impact, and Core JJ are just not calming this enough. All right, cool. Right, we got some kills. Great. So we go to 1440. This wave is communicated probably now. Like we need to be fighting like not on this wave, but on the next wave. Okay, like they kind of know this is gonna be a thing. So this next mid wave is like pivotal to them, right? One, why does Scion not just like contest the wave like a normal human being? Like he's trying to like chunk like the Aurora Quid, which like stop, just get the wave. That's all you need to do, just get the wave. So this is the wave we need to play on. Everything's set. You know these guys are literally showing above you. Okay? They're disconnected again. The Aurora is literally showing mid. Everything's good. Explain to me how we failed this execution. Because at this point, all Core JJ has to do is basically, this guy has not done anything yet. He's getting exhausted. Press R, E, Q, and the Scion hits, and he's dead. Like, honestly, this is great. Like, everyone's doing exactly what they should be doing for once. And that's why the play looks so good. It's a very well communicated, we're playing on this wave, this mid wave for the Herald. Now you just need to execute it. And they couldn't execute it. He just has to press R, E, Q. He gets hit by Scion R. Afterwards. Dead. That's it. Nope. Just, he E's late. So it doesn't R first. E's late. This guy's able to cancel the knockup. Gets out. Misses the hook. And by the way, Corki has no flash. So like he could have tried to like throw the hook that way too. Completely screws it up. Scion tries to go for a little bit more than he thought. Has Titanic Swifty, so he has no resistance. Dead. Now, because of the way they turned out, they do get the Herald. But, like, again, someone should have died. The Aurora should have died. That's crazy. That's crazy that she doesn't die there. Next up is another thing with space. Playing for space. Does anyone recognize it on the team? Are we playing together on the space? Look at this. No R. No R. No R. The Corki's on the mid wave with no mana, so he's out of the game. They're walking up. Gion literally wants to walk into this guy. He has full, like, he has R, he has flash, he has barrier. APA, you should just walk this way. Like, Viego, you should probably be having it pulled this way on the right versus on the left. I don't know why he pulled it to the left. Like, why are you pulling it to Cassante? Pull it downward towards your mid lane. Pulled it the wrong way. Now Viego's a little bit late. Now these guys are fully walking into you, which makes no sense why 100 Thieves is even doing that based on what they have. Rakan literally has no flash. Now we're recognizing to go. APA is for some odd reason running at the Cassante. Okay, we're going for it. We get a hook. We knock up the Rakan. Okay. The Scion is here. And unfortunately, the Rakan gets out. And we just burn Viego. Oh, the Rakan doesn't get out. Right. Thank God. So they get a pick, right? But it's crazy to me to think that it took so much for them to like get to this point versus just not even giving them any space in the first place. Like I've already started the fight at this point if I was Blitzcrank. He also has flash, by the way. I already would have started this fight. It was so late. And luckily enough, like, they get out. You know, they end up getting out. He gets hit by the Scion Q, like, God bless, right? God bless. But if that didn't happen, he's out. And keep in mind, they're also dropping the top wave. But that's not the end of the world. We also just herald the mid afterwards, which, I mean, like, you could have waited one wave, and it actually would have been way better because the Corki has no mana still. For sure. Okay, they don't do that. Okay. Keep in mind, if they did wait an extra wave, they actually could have taken the mid turn. But sure. Then we have APA. This here, he's walking down. He knows he's probably being traced. And he shouldn't ward. He should literally just straight shoot it into bot, through the try, and chill out. Him losing his Aniar, by the way, like, honestly, him going back for that creep, so stupid, because losing the Aniar on the Trundle is great for Quid, because now Quid has literally no pressure onto him. Like, the Aniar is everything to, like, upkeep pressure, so that sucks for his side lane. extends it into the 1810 situation, which again, we actually saw one like this prior where it's just supposed to be a simple 1-4. Like, Impact is mid. Impact is mid. They recognize that they can play fully into bot side, right? Fully into bot side. This is fine. Like, I'm actually cool with this play. And yet, when they move down, for some odd reason, because keep in mind, top wave is untouched. Top wave is untouched. For some odd reason, Yeon goes back into mid. And I don't really get that. Like, they could definitely just hit the bot turret if they really want in the end of the day. Sion has R behind them. They don't really want to extend into the bot river themselves, 100 Thieves. And yet, they play it off this way. Which, again, I don't really get. And now he's dead. Like, they just have mixed ideas. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe Yeon in his head in the end of the day is like, you know, we should really, I mean, we got the mid wave. Like, we did it. We can also go into bot and literally pressure the bot turret and take the bot turret. Everything looks fine. I don't know why we're not moving for it. They're not. So everyone's slow to move. Yeon goes back in. He dies. Okay, that's awful. Then we go into 2030, starting around 2030, where they start, like, this was fine. Okay? That was fine. Whatever. They're doing this shit around mid. Personally, I feel like they're not really getting much done in the end of the day by just grouping up this way. It's just kind of like wasting a bunch of time on Viego. Like, Viego could have just done his red and his Krugs. Like, the mid turret means literally nothing. You just want to upkeep tempo on the map. So by hitting the mid turret, Yeon takes some chunk damage. Okay? Takes some chunk damage, sure. Otacon is up. And keep in mind, if you look at this map state, Sion has TP. Annie has TP. Why does Sion not go back top? Because they're pressuring the mid, so he wants to have Sion down mid. But the reality is, he should just go top. Always screw the mid turret, get your camps, save your conditions, and play on your TP. If the Aurora wants to stay top, so be it. That's advantageous towards us. And we'll play it off that way. But, like, instead, once the Sion goes, they get played on by Quid. That sucks a little bit. Not the end of the world, though. Again, Sion could be pushing top. Why? Because if they pull Otacon, they're probably going to lose. Like, there's a good chance they'll lose the fight if they pull Otacon, 100 Thieves. But now we're just grouped together. Okay, so now we're grouped together, doing nothing. Still doing nothing. Now we're trying to fish them out, and you accomplish nothing. That was awful. Then we get into the next spot where they overtake the, like, they take space from Dokla. Great. They're set up for drag. And we're going to get into another spot where it's like, what is TL doing? So, one, look at the vision they have. It's great vision. Okay? It's great vision. They know Aurora's showing on top, and they know that Corki is about to show here. Okay, so Corki's showing on the bot wave, and she's showing here. They're disconnected again. Again. Explain to me why Yuji does not stick on this dragon so he can pull it this way. Because if he pulls it here, it's fucking GG. He doesn't. He actually lets this guy grab aggro. Now it's an awkward spot. The Aurora is still away. They should have multiple members here with the Annie sitting here where she can always pressure move this way. They're showing three squads, so Annie should have, like, potential to flank. And yet these guys are here and we could just go. Literally, honestly, we could just go. Because Aurora is disconnected. But they don't. They just give infinite space. The Trundle is literally hitting this in front of their faces. They have 4 people here. And they're scared to do anything. Because Core JJ is just jerking in. I shouldn't say jerking off, but, like, that is quite literally what players would say that he's doing in the right line bush. Like, I don't know why he was still here. He has flash. Like, what are we doing? Like, I honestly have no idea what TL is doing in these contests. Like, look at this. Look how reserved Impact is playing. And now they finally have a 5. Now it's a 5v5. They waited so long for it to be a 5v5. The enemy went first, and you lost. And then to make it worse is now Yuji's dead. You're down your major CDs, and then you fight the Otacon to die again. Okay, well that sucked. Well, what did the last game look like? Well, again, I'll say this. APA loses his 1v1 heavily. Okay, so APA lost solo again, twice in a row. They have an option to match the swap. 100 Thieves goes for a swap in which Sivir gets a ton of CS because she gets the full wave, right? At this point, the Varus should just go top. He hasn't lost anything bot yet. Like, he's still fine, okay? Like, he's literally still fine. Yeah, he's still fine. Yeah, maybe he drops a little bit of CS in this situation, but at least you get the match at top. And more specifically, the reason why I say you match it is Yuji started his Raptors, which means that these spawn again, so he's doing this kind of route. He's doing this, back up here, this, and then going back bot. What happens when you do that? That means you're gonna have a big timer on top side where your bot lane plays. So if you're you might as well match because it actually aligns with your jungler. That's what you want. You want it to align with your jungler. That doesn't happen. CoreJJ pulls the wave, which is good, but then he randomly starts hitting the wave, which I didn't really get. So he's late. And now Yuji's gonna base and go top, because why would he ever stay bot unless they're gonna try to like freeze or kill the Renekton? Or play on the map with no base for the dragon, I guess. I guess he could do that too. Then maybe that's like the best choice he should make at that point. Doesn't. And now this is where it gets awkward because like your GP is 2v1. So his like advantage and like how well he was playing is getting reduced. The Renekton is actually chilling out somehow versus Nautilus Varus. And they're actually going to get the swap again over TL, which leads towards them getting Dragon over TL. That's bad. And they get the crab. So magically, from just us not like planning this out, we just lost the first Dragon. That sucks. Then we extend this to 720. And by the way, I just want to say that this was a good look by River, but holy shit, does that feel so bad to just lose your flash, like straight up. Now the timing of it is not bad because the timing wise it means that, oh shit, no Sejuar for grubs. Okay, great. This also, I also noted this here that Poppy technically could stay on bot side and go through bot to ensure that they get the swap advantage, like the base advantage over the enemy duo to be on top side. But it's not like pivotal. It's not exactly pivotal because the Seju used her R. He ends up outplaying this. They end up killing. They end up getting the full grubs. And then 100 of these even inst themselves into the Nautilus for some odd reason to give them some more kills and the grubs. So, okay. TL's in the driver's seat. Again, like the first game, like they actually have an advantage. It's not necessarily like they did a phenomenal job to acquire this advantage, but they have one. So why does this just like turn out bad? Well, one, Dokla like just randomly solos Impact, sucks. Two, I mean this is another one where it's like Sivir is just playing on the mid-wave solo. You know it's a good play to look for. And they just don't really combo it well. And so she ends up not even losing her flash for the abilities that she had, like for what they used. That's awful. That's really bad. So clearly, you know, we just use, we have no GP ulti, we have no Nautilus ulti. So what do? You map trade. Like you don't play for this dragon. But what are we doing? We're eyeing the dragon. We're just looking at it. We're thinking about it. It's a huge waste of time. We should already be progressing on top side and doing something else. To make it worse, you know, for some odd reason, Yeon is in their face as a like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, by the way. Like, what the hell is he thinking? Like, he's like, I get really pissed off watching players stare at the enemy doing an objective when it's just like, it's clearly gone. Like, push the wave. What are you doing? And you're alone. Like, it makes no sense what Yeon is doing here. And so they seem very disconnected. It's like, no one recognized that they could just cross map. Everyone's like just thinking, well, we can fight this. But then at the same time, well, we're not fighting it. And yet you're posed poised to fight it. That turns bad. Okay, lose my cleanse. That kind of sucks. Lose the Poppy R. Use Verisar. Don't go in. Please don't go in. And turns into a nightmare. And now Yan dies. And Rise picks up a kill. So that sucks. That sucks big time. Then we get a nice little pick by them at 1440. You know, this was nice, finally. Like, okay, we're all on mid. This is our timer. And so this is, again, like when they actually do it correctly, it looks good. And when Holidays actually fights into these timers a lot of the time. So if like you do things right, they just die. So great. We got that. Now tell me, when we get into this situation, what is the team play? We're obviously just doing Herald. You know, APA knows he's in danger on bot side, so him shifting mid and chunking Ayla is actually really good. That's really good. Now, why does he go back bot? What told him that it's safe? Nothing. Literally, quite literally nothing told him it was safe. And he dies. So now they actually get something out of that play, when there should have been nothing. Then we go into another APA issue. Overshifting. You know, he just shoved out the bot. He has a pink in the dot. His teammates are in river. Why is he not just moving through river and then just sitting there? And then go back to bot and catch bot like normal? Like, like, why is he here? He doesn't have to be here. He could literally be here, zoning this Rise and getting the wave, and that's good enough. Instead, they're late to bot. Then they're like, oh shit, we gotta play on Rise. Well, he has flash, okay. Kind of misplay this pretty badly, and then he just dies. And that's the play. Now they lose Dragon again, just randomly. Then it gets even funnier because it's like, okay. Like, they know that the Varus showed bot. And it was a good play by Dokla because it's like, oh, you know what? I think this guy's going to try to connect. So he gets his flash. Okay, no flash on Varus. That's pretty bad. APA literally knows that these guys can still be in bot side. They're like, nothing, like, everything tells you, oh my god, they can still be in bot side. He fights the Renekton and kills himself. Awful. It gets better. Now they're trying to make a play with just Poppy Nautilus, which is pretty useless. He's trying to buy infinite time so they can have Talia TP come down. Only for Varus to once again walk through the dangerous area. And now he just dies. And it's just like, what is happening? Like, what are these guys actually doing? Like, it looks horrible. You go to 2350. And it's like, okay. They know that Ayla has no TP. Or no TP, no flash, right? We're in the river. Pushing these guys out. Okay, we're successful. The Nautilus does not need to show here anymore. The Nautilus could honestly just look on mid if he really wants to. And they can look for a combo with Talia if they really want to. Okay, they don't. Sure. They don't. APA recognizes it a little late, but it's still good because this guy's slowed. Ayla, in all honesty, Ayla should instantly R this. Because maybe APA will die in that timer, and he probably would. But he should ulti it. But by him not ulting it, APA actually could have rode this all the way down. Nautilus also can just flash, by the way. There makes no sense on why you would not just kill this guy right here, right now. And they don't. So he gets out. Okay. Okay, we killed this guy. Oh my god, we Poppy R it. What? Also, at the same time, the Nautilus needs to be like going into this guy. He needs to give them space. He has to give them space. And this is where it gets really weird, because it's like, you just should have Poppy R to either do this or this. The Nautilus needs to go into this guy, because like you need to spread out your spells, right? Then he goes in. You guys are trying to one-shot him. Well, if you're trying to one-shot him, I mean, one, I would not GP ulti this. I would GP ulti this, like when the time comes, and you fight down. So you lost a zoning tool, and even though like yes, GP is trying to zone 3 people, like they kind of need his damage to finish out this Renekton. They can't, and that's that. And they get the soul, and the game's over. And looking at all these situations, you know, I spent 50 minutes, and yes, I did try to explain things a little. Took me a little while to explain some situations overall, but I hope it shows that there's just so many mistakes happening in these games. Whether it's literally screwing up a simple 1-4 shift to play 2 lanes. So you're screwing up a 1-4 shift to play 2 lanes. They're screwing up on side laning generally. Basically, how far do you need to shift? Like feint versus like a full shift. Feint versus a full shift. What mid waves? Because this is not consistent at all. What mid waves? What's the line for fighting's sake and not giving space? Not giving space. There's just general bases, like your literal timers, like the timers to, how would I say this? Honestly, it's literally just the timers to be present on, because this was an issue they were having with jungle and support. Like I do feel like their jungle and support were just not, or just were never like well connected or thinking about what they can do together. Feints versus full shifts, and also TPs. Their TPs were not that great. And so like I'm listing all these different things, and to be honest, these are pretty foundational. Like these are things that just you as a core, as a team, would have down, especially if you're at this level. Like there's some moves I listed, like the one where after they kill Jhin in bot lane, and they could strangle them on the bot turret, overdoing the camps towards top. That play is like something that's a bit more advanced. Like one where you're just like, well, this is a clear advantage. Yes, I'm gonna sack my jungle a little bit, but that's okay. We're gonna get that fat lead, and make them have to show bot. Like they'll probably have to rumble TP bot and rumble ulti, and that's not great for their game. But they don't recognize that. And so if you're not gonna recognize that, you need to at least recognize like these other situations. And then of course there's this general execution. I just felt like their general execution of these situations, because when they did find some good timers, they did find some situations that are good for them, and they literally could not play them out. So you're having foundational issues with the game, and you can't execute that well either. You end up just being kind of essentially a shit stain. Unfortunately, like you're just not a good, you're not good team, and you're not good at the game even at this level, and that's crazy because they have players who are pretty good. So yeah, I feel like for Team Liquid, Team must have been helping them a lot with at least the foundational situations, because I do feel like this execution part, it was better at times, but it was still kind of an issue. This one has always been kind of like present in their squad, but at least this other part with the squad, with was like better, you know? Like it was definitely better. And now that we're away from that, and this is more specifically like when they were good with you know? Not like they weren't like exactly great with at times, but like when they were like really on it, a lot of this did look a lot better, except for the execution part, which was lacking. And now we go into this, and it's like, now you have all these issues plus this, and it's like, holy shit, that is bad. And they just never, like I said, they never stood a chance. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna try to do some more of these, but I'm gonna try my best to maybe not cover every single timer I have because I like doing that. And I'm gonna try to trim it down a bit. Thanks.